Mosby. Friday Night Rivals pregame show is sponsored by Food City.
Welcome into game number 2 of Toyota's Friday Night Rivals presented by ETSU Health. This is the Food City pregame show. Tonight's matchup features the Sullivan East Patriots and the Volunteer Falcons. Volunteers 0-2 on the young season. The Falcons are also a young team. Head coach Jesse McMillan starts 5 freshmen. I asked the head Falcon what he has learned about the team through the first 2 weeks.
Hopefully gotten a little bit more, mature and understanding what's, Friday night's about. The other night, Friday night, it was just a bad start to the game, but once we settled down here in the second quarter, we played a lot better. Same thing week 1 against Westridge. There's times we do some really good things, really promising things, and then, we make a mistake, and it just gets magnified because there's such small margin for error for us. But I think our guys are playing really hard, which is a positive thing. I told them that after week 1. The other stuff we can hopefully correct and fix.
When you have a very young team like you do, as a coach, you probably have to understand that comes with, there's going to be the growing pains, but also is it reinvigorating when you have young guys and they get those small points and you can see the light bulb kind of go on from time to time?
Oh, yeah. It's definitely it's made this year so far enjoyable. See those young guys, like you just said, the light bulb coming on and understanding, that's certainly, because, what you want to do, you just want to get the best out of your kids, no matter what it is. I think we're getting it in spurts. We have done that, and it's really funny, whether it's the scrimmages we had, the preseason stuff, whether it's been our first 2 games, is like when we do things right, that's certainly rewarding to see, and I know it's good for the kids, but then, a couple plays later, you come back and the same thing you just did. You did right a couple plays ago, you come back and do it wrong. That's kind of what we're going through right now.
The cliche of the next game is the most important game, but this game also the first region game, so it does take on even added importance, doesn't it?
Absolutely. You want to win them all, but in the grand scheme of things, region games are always more important. It's just the way it is. If you're wanting to play game 11, you've got to win the ones that maybe you have a chance in. It's no secret down, in our region that more than likely until somebody shows differently, you're fighting for 3 and 4 with, Greenville and Elizabethton at the top there. So you've got to, win those other ones. Hopefully our guys will understand that this is, these next 3 ball games, because they're all region games, are the biggest, each week's the biggest game, and hopefully our guys can understand that.
How would you describe the Sullivan East offense for somebody that hasn't watched them play?
Athletic. It's not, I guess historically, if you think about East, and, JC will tell you this, it's not a slight to them at all, but historically you don't think, athletic, but they got several guys that, starts with the quarterback, great. Fisher's a great athlete. He does a good job running their offense, and then, he's got 3 really good receivers, and then the 4th guy, who's not getting as many catches as the other guys through 2 games. He's dangerous too, and then they've got 2 or 3 different running backs they'll throw back there at you that do a good job of being shifty, got some explosiveness. So it's a very difficult matchup for us. I think we might be a little tougher than we have been on defense, physically tougher, but we're still not very athletic, just the way it is. I think, we've got to not let them big play us, make them, have to drive the ball.
For your offense, how important is it to not only convert your possessions into points, but also to kind of maybe bleed the clock a little bit and shorten this game as much as you can?
We don't go real fast anyway most of the time. We might change tempo a little bit here and there, but we're a young team. We're wanting to limit the amount of plays in a game to help our defense. But yeah, I mean, we've got to be able to sustain drives. I don't know if we've got an advantage anywhere on the field, but if it was, if there was to be, we've been pleased when our linemen do what they're capable of doing. We've been pleased with them the first 2 weeks. And I feel like our backs have ran the ball really hard. So if there is an advantage, it would be that.
Coming up, don't miss my conversation with Sullivan East head coach J.C. Simmons as the Patriots are set to play in their first ever Friday Night Rivals game.
Outstanding plays are made by outstanding players. I'm News 5's Andrew McClung. Join me every Wednesday during News 5 at 6 and 11 to find out who will be named our Player of the Week.
News 5 Sports Player of the Week is sponsored by Toyota.
I plan to keep playing the music I love, but I never planned on Medicare being so complicated. Fortunately, the experts at Farm Bureau Health Plans made it easy.
Farm Bureau Health Plans. Plan on us.
Welcome to the big leagues, where our go-kart all-stars take personal shopping to the next level. They always bring their A game, so you get groceries carefully selected specifically for you. These are passionate professionals, ensuring every fruit and vegetable, every cut of meat is exactly the way you like it. This is plump. That is juicy. And this is lean. Order go-kart curbside pickup online for personal shopping at the highest level.
Trinity Granite and Marble. Years of experience and thousands of countertops installed, turning ordinary into extraordinary. Go to trinitygranite.com or come see us just off Interstate 26 on Kimberly Court in Johnson City.
Let me see something. Oh, what? Has your name always been Hulu Has Live Sports?
I guess so.
New name, same man. Meet Jalen. Hulu has live sports.
Hulu Plus Live TV, your favorite place to watch live TV.
Next up, the Big Pal from Pal's. A 1/3 pound all-beef patty, creamy mayo, crisp lettuce, tomato, and onion on a toasted bun. Do I have any offers out there? Oh, to the man in the jacket, to the woman in blue. Oh, to the man, to the woman, to the man. Going once, going twice. Do I have any more? Oh, stolen by the fellow in the back. Oh.
Me? Lucky fella.
Don't miss your chance to take home a Big Pal. Pals, great food in a flash.
J.C. Simmons is in his 4th season as the head coach of Sullivan East. The Patriots have yet to make the playoffs under Simmons, but with senior quarterback Drake Fisher, this is their best shot since he's been the head man in Bluff City. Sullivan East has a win over Johnson County and a loss to Tennessee High on their resume in the early portion of the season.
The amount of progression that we've had as the season's gone on, I think that we've shown we have the ability to play with just about anybody. We have to continue to get back to work as far as getting better at our execution. What we do all the time. The last 2 weeks we've had a lot of mental mistakes as far as alignment, routes that we're running, that kind of thing. But, the kids have played with tremendous effort the whole time. I mean, regardless of the situation on the field, they've given tremendous effort. And at the end of the day, that's the number one thing I'm after.
Regardless of the outcome of last week's game against Tennessee High, there was a lot of emotion around that game. What's your message going to be in terms of making sure that game doesn't linger into this week's game?
After Friday night, our kids were obviously not happy with what was going on, but you can go out there and put up 569 yards of offense and get some stops against those guys. I mean, that it shows them that the proof is there. That, like I said, we can play this game. We can be dangerous any Friday night. So it's just staying the course. We just have to continue to get better every chance we get to step on the field. Those Monday practices can often be, let's just kind of get through this. But for us to be successful, it has to be every rep matters. Everything means a little bit more to us.
Your offense, you nickname it the air raid. Describe what your offense is to people that haven't seen Sullivan East play.
When people hear the term air raid, they think it's all about throwing the ball deep and just throwing 4 verticals the entire time. In reality, what we're trying to do, and it just goes back to, Hal Mummy's quote of get the ball to people who score. So we throw it quick, we throw it often, just trying to make the defense have to defend every blade of grass on the field. When you got a guy like Fisher and some of the other athletes that we have, we can really mix it up.
Drake, a third-year starting quarterback. How have you seen him develop over the years from when he was a sophomore, kind of feeling out the varsity level? Now I'm sure he's almost like a coach on the field.
His response after his sophomore year was, wow, they're fast. And now it's become more of a thing where he can take ownership of the game. He can make checks, get us out of a bad call because, you know, just like anybody, you know, we might signal in a play that's not there, and he can get us out of it and get us into something that's a better matchup for us. And so I think that leadership role he's stepped up there. You know, Friday night was like a really big test for him as far as handling the environment and the atmosphere and everything that gets built up with that game. And like I said, you know, 533 yards in the air. He played tremendous. So it's, you know, again, just him growing up as a young man and understanding that his job's important, but so is everybody else's.
The team you're playing this week, Volunteer, maybe in a sense, they're kind of a team maybe like you guys were a couple years ago. They play a lot of freshmen and sophomores. You did that a couple years ago. Now those kids are kind of gone up a little bit. What do you see out of this Volunteer team that you're going to be facing Friday night?
As you watch the film, I mean, there's not a play where they're not playing hard. They get after it. They've got, of course, they've got some young guys, but they've got athletes. They've got weapons on both sides of the football. And I think the whole key for us is to just continue to just worry about us and not anything else. Because like I said, you know, Jesse does a great job down there. Those guys, I mean, you know, last year we go down and we end up winning by a point in a game where we kind of felt like we could have had a little bit more success, and that's just kind of the environment down there. I mean, they're going to fight you.
You became the head coach. What was your kind of vision for the program? And now, a couple of years in, is it kind of where you would like it to be?
I feel like we're getting there. You know, we talk about family a lot, and I use the definition of family. Forget about me, I love you. You know, handed out to all our kids with T-shirts on it. And I think that as we go through, the main purpose of high school football, high school sports in general, is not to, you know, create, you know, NFL players. It's to create better men. So, you know, oftentimes I've heard a quote that it was, you know, how do you think you did this season? Ask me in 20 years. And that's kind of where we try to stay focused. Obviously, we want to get better at the game of football. But speaking as far as my coaching staff, we want to create better human beings as we go on. It's not always easy. It's been a struggle in that sense. But like I said, we just keep hammering and keep working on it. And hopefully everybody that's a part of this program is better because of it.
Coming up next, we'll go inside the numbers on tonight's matchup between Sullivan East and Volunteer.
At the Sleep Shop at Zach's this Labor Day, we're bringing back our best offer ever. Get a double sales tax rebate or 5 years free financing. Save huge right now on everything in our Sleep Shop with our double sales tax rebate.
Kia of Johnson City has 2023 Kia Tellurides, Sorettos, Sportages, and K5s, all